My name is James Johnston. I've been a woodturner for 30 years. I'm currently doing a show in my hometown, and so this video is going to be a show and tell, not a how-to. This piece dates from 1993. It's walnut. It's 24.5 inches tall and about 19 inches in diameter. And the interesting thing about it is that the inside contour follows the outside contour, and so it's corrugated on the inside also. And the reason for that is to make it light enough to pick up with my small finger. This is about 10 years old. It's 31.5 inches tall, about 10 inches in diameter. The wood is mimosa. It's been dyed and then treated with liming wax. This piece is box elder. It's also about 32 inches deep. It was double dyed in that I put on a red dye. When it dried, I put on a black dye, and then I very carefully sanded through the black to reveal the undercolor and also some grain. From 10 feet away, it looks black, but when you get up close, it looks different. This table shows the variety of pieces that I do. The piece in the middle is box elder, burley box elder, and of course it's been double dyed. Are you a Star Wars addict or a fan and also a wood turner? Another table of my pieces. This piece was originally 30 inches in diameter, but it had a scar down in the bottom. When I was turning it, I didn't discover it until I was almost through with it. So for 11 years, it was my cutoff box in my shop. Whenever I got a piece I wanted to save, I just threw it in here. And then one day I decided, well, if I cut this like a pie, with the wide part of the pie incorporating most of that scar, I can take the two pieces that are left and put it together and end up with something that I can actually use again. And so this is what we have. And this was the start of my split series. This is another split series, but rather than take a piece out, I actually split it, separated it, and used dowels to hold the separation and filled in with leather. And you'll see this in a number of my pieces. Another couple of split series where I turn the piece, cut it down the middle, and then separate it with dowels and leather. Another split series, a couple of feet tall or so, box elder. All of my pieces are normally finished to about 1/4 inch thick. This piece had a couple of 3 inches taken out of the center. This is my Roswell series. The name was suggested by a friend because in profile these pieces look like flying saucers. This is box elder. It's 13 or 14 inches in diameter. Again, it's 1/4 inch thick, and it's been double dyed. Another Roswell series. However, I did name this one Fat Mama, but it's also box elder and double dyed. Another Roswell, about 14 inches in diameter, box elder, double dyed. This is my latest work. It's 1/8 of an inch thick. It's actually turned. I'm not going to tell you how. I mean, come on, we got to have some secrets. But I will tell you that it's made of 3 pieces. So with that hint, you can figure out what it is and how it was. This piece I turned because it has the longest feather that I've ever seen in a piece of wood. It was old, it was discolored, it was worm-eaten, but nevertheless I saw that it had this long feather in it. Well, after I had turned it, I bleached it so that I could recolor the piece. The next morning I looked at it and it had cracked 2/3 of the way around. And I literally took it in my hands and just broke it in half. Then I got to looking at it and I thought, well, since it's already broken, then that's a very interesting crack. How can I break this up again? So I literally took a rubber mallet and I started tapping on it until I started to crack, and I followed the crack around, and I just did that until I had 5 pieces. Then I joined it together with the brass rods, dyed it, finished it. This piece is called skewered because of the brass rods in it. It's also box elder. This piece is Bodark or horse apple or Osage orange. When I turned it, it had a crack in it that you could literally put your hand into the crack all the way past the center. So after I turned it and hollowed it, I sawed it to get rid of the crack. I actually sawed it twice, and then I just joined the pieces together. So this is another one of my split series. These are my cliff dwelling series. They were inspired after a trip up into Colorado to the Mesa Verde Monument. The wood is a white oak burl, and they're not a fine wood turning. They're very thick and chunky. The detail was put in with a Dremel and a dental drill. My cactus series. This material right here is prickly pear cactus skeleton. You get it by finding the oldest cactus that you can, something that's dead, the skin's rotted, the pulp's rotted away from it, and all that's left is the framework of the cactus. And you very carefully separate it into little thin sheets and then incorporate it into the piece. That one is applied on the outside. This one, I have cut the pieces out, the windows, and they're actually glued in from the bottom. I guess you might say this is the ultimate in cactus series. You can see how big the piece is, and yet it only weighs about 4 ounces. There's 128 separate pieces of wood in the framework and 30 pieces of the cactus skeleton. What you're looking at is a bunch of miniatures I did one time. I wanted to go to the AAW symposium, and they only allow you to bring 3 pieces to put into the instant gallery. Well, this is my way of objecting, shall we say, to that policy. So I just made a bunch of miniatures. These are all hollowed, and the bottoms are finished just like they were full size. I will admit I did not sand the insides. This piece dates from 1985. Ooh, that was a long time ago. It's mimosa, and the thing that's nice about it to me is it really doesn't look like wood. It looks more like marble. I violated every rule in the book on this piece. The bottom's flat and very thick, but it did not crack. I guess the god of wood turning was looking over my shoulder when I turned this piece. This piece is the largest piece I've ever done in volume. It's not the tallest, nor is it the largest in diameter, but in volume, it's the largest piece I've ever done. The piece of wood started out between 700 and 800 pounds, and now it weighs 11. It's box elder. It took me 5 months total to finish this piece from beginning to end. This piece was done about 4 years ago. If you want to know more about my pieces, go to my website. There are more details there. This piece was turned in 1988. I did it one Saturday before a group of people in Austin. It's genuine mahogany. The turning was finished at 4 feet. I cut the piece up into the strips, bent the pipe frame, and suspended them in the frame. So this piece now is 25 years old. And it's still dramatic. Folks, thanks for watching my video.